Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there is a ton of news stories to get into today. So let's start off with some concerning stories, or concerning news rather, talking about Jeff Hardy and him being sent home from the road this weekend. Now, WWE superstar Jeff Hardy was reportedly sent home by WWE officials this past weekend. Now, Hardy missed Sunday's live event in the American Bank Center in Corpus Christi, Texas, and word going around is that he was sent home from the road. This is according to PW Insider. Now, Hardy worked Saturday's live event in Edinburgh, Texas, teaming with King Xavier Woods and Drew McIntyre against Universal Champion Roman Reigns and SmackDown Tag Team Champions The Usos in the main event. Now, after spending most of the match in the ring, getting worked over by the Bloodline and apparently becoming more and more sluggish as the match went on, Hardy made a hot tag to Drew McIntyre, but immediately he disappeared into the crowd. There was videos of this and pictures of this circulating on social media over the weekend. Now, Hardy reportedly went into the crowd at that point, followed by security, but never returned to the ring, and he didn't participate in the post-match celebration with Woods and McIntyre in the ring. Now, for what it's worth, a fan at the Edinburgh live event noted that Hardy stopped to greet just about every fan at ringside, and on the entranceway, he made his way to the ring before the six-man tag team match even began. Now, Hardy was not backstage for Sunday's live event in Corpus Christi, and he was replaced by Rey Mysterio in the main event. Now, right now, there's still no concrete word as to what's actually led to Hardy disappearing at Saturday's live event, why he was sent home from the road. We don't have those details right now. Once they do come out, of course, we'll talk about them here on the channel. Now, Hardy, of course, was seen on SmackDown on Friday as Hardy and McIntyre interrupted an episode of Happy Talk with Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. WWE then announced Hardy and McIntyre versus Moss and Corbin for this coming edition of SmackDown on Friday, which, of course, would be a rematch from the November 26th SmackDown episode, which of course Hardy and McIntyre won that match. Now, again, we don't really know much more information about that. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com confirmed PW Insider's story. He said, quote, "Unfortunately, can confirm PW Insider's reports that Jeff Hardy was sent home after what was called a, quote, rough night, end quote, for him. That became evident as last night's live event match went on. Best wishes to Hardy," end quote. Now, when it comes to this, first of all, I echo what Sean Ross Sapp said there, and that you have to give well wishes to Jeff Hardy. I hope he's well. I hope he's recovering, and I hope he comes out the other side of whatever's going on at the moment. And I don't really want to speculate too much on this. I think, look, given Jeff Hardy's history and well-documented issues, substance abuse issues, let's put it out there, it's very easy to put two and two together, and it's very easy to speculate here, but we don't have all the facts. And we've seen numerous instances over the last 18 months or so where speculation on facts, absences, stories, etc., easy jumps, if you will, to conclusions in these stories have been made, and they haven't been factually accurate. Now, I've seen the video of Hardy. I've seen the two videos. There's one where Hardy's making his entrance, and he does look sluggish. He gets into the ring, he starts holding, it looks to be like his stomach, and he does look, I don't want to say out of it, but he looks off. He certainly looks off, but he wrestles the most of the match, and then I've seen the video once he exits through the crowd. He does the hot tag, and he pretty much immediately leaves. Again, we don't know the circumstances. We really don't. He might be ill. He might be ill. He might have food poisoning. He might have an injury we don't know about. It's easy to jump to the conclusion of, oh no, we're talking about wagons and substance abuses and all that kind of stuff. It's really easy to jump to that conclusion, but it's not fair. Nobody should be judged on their past mistakes or their past transgressions or anything like that. We have to be fair, and I don't think it's fair to speculate particular reasons as to why Jeff Hardy was sent home by WWE officials. We'll find out in due course. ultimately, irrespective of what the reason truly is, the one thing we can hope is that Jeff Hardy recovers soon and we send him the best wishes. And that's really about it we can do right now. So we'll have to wait and see. As I mentioned, it's a developing story, so I'm sure we will hear more about this going forward. But as of right now, we just wish Jeff Hardy the best. Let's switch gears here. Of course, last night was NXT War Games. It's no longer TakeOver, is it? It's just NXT War Games, NXT 2.0, NXT changing all the time. There's been a lot of speculation, hasn't there, about Johnny Gargano. What's going on with Johnny Gargano? Is he leaving WWE? Is he going to be signing with AEW? His contract's set to expire. What's really going on with Johnny Gargano in WWE? Well, after last night's NXT War Games event, Johnny Gargano basically told fans they're going to have to wait and see until Tuesday to know if Johnny Gargano's final outing in NXT was at War Games last night. Now, after Sunday's show went off the air, fans at the Performance Center in Orlando chanted, quote, "Thank you, Johnny, and please don't go," to show their appreciation for Johnny Wrestling. This is what Gargano had to say to the crowd in attendance. He said, quote, "Candice is going to be really upset that I blew our undefeated streak, our War Games record in our house, so I mean I'm in trouble when I get home. Trust me, guys." An emotional Gargano proceeded to thank fans for their overwhelming support. He said, quote, "You guys are saying thank you to me when really I want to say thank you to all of you. Without you, there wouldn't be a Johnny Wrestling, and that's true. You guys know I love you right back, but with that love, I'm an open book to you guys, and I'm always 100% honest and 100% authentic with you because I feel like you guys aren't just fans. We've known each other for a long time. You guys are like my family. This is like family." So in conclusion, Gargano stated he would address his WWE future on Tuesday. He said, quote, "And right now I'm beat up, I'm sore, I'm tired. I've got a lot on my mind, but I want to tell you guys everything, and I will tell you guys everything this Tuesday night, okay? Thank you, and we'll come right back here Tuesday night, and I'm going to tell you guys everything, okay?" Now, it was previously reported that Gargano's WWE contract was previously set to expire on Friday, December 3rd. However, Gargano did sign a one-week extension to participate in the War Games match. His contract expires on Friday, December 10th. So this could be his final week as a WWE star, certainly is the final week of this extended contract. Gargano also tweeted, quote, "Hell of a run, thank you all, hashtag Johnny Takeover," and it featured all of the different attires he's worn throughout his TakeOver history. Tommaso Ciampa also posted a heartfelt message on Instagram indicating that maybe his former DIY stablemates could be leaving. He said, quote, "If tonight is the last time we share a ring together, then I've got two words for you. Hashtag thank you." So the Gargano one's very confusing, isn't it? We're going to talk about Kyle O'Reilly in a second, so we'll get to that one, which I think is a bit more obvious, to be honest. The Gargano one, he's so closely associated with NXT and WWE. The issue previously, if NXT was the same as what it was, the previous Triple H iteration of NXT, if that was the same and it was still the same right now, Johnny Gargano would stay. I have no doubts about that. But NXT has just fundamentally changed radically over the course of the last 3, 4, 5 months. And it's different now. It's a different place. And in the same vein as all of these other talents, I look at them and I don't know where Johnny Gargano fits. I really don't. Does he get called up to the main roster? But how does he fare on the main roster? Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard think it's 1985, and Gargano, in their eyes, is too small. They're retiring the Cruiserweight division. And is he going to thrive on the main roster? Vince McMahon would want to put a cape on him and make him Mighty Mouse, because that's what he wants to do with every small guy. Is he going to stay in NXT? Again, he doesn't fit the profile anymore. He's someone that came up through the indies and has great matches, but he doesn't have the size or the look or the athletic background that WWE's looking for. So he's kind of in this gray area right now, but he has this relationship with the NXT fans and this history on the NXT brand. So there is something there to latch onto. For me, out of Kyle O'Reilly and Johnny Gargano, which one's going to stay? If you say one of them is going to stay, which one's it going to be? I would say Johnny Gargano. But right now, I just don't know where he fits. I really don't know where he fits. He's done everything in NXT, and he's so closely associated with that brand, but right now he doesn't fit. And I'm sure that WWE want to keep him. We've heard about negotiations and all that kind of stuff. They wanted to keep Adam Cole. But Adam Cole came to the realization that I think Johnny Gargano might come to, where it's like, do I trust WWE right now? Do I really trust them to have my best interest if I went to the main roster? And I think the answer is no. We've seen people that would be way more likely to thrive on the main roster. Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, they didn't thrive on the main roster. They're more of the profile that WWE is kind of looking for, and they didn't thrive. So what's to say that Johnny Gargano would? And I understand betting on yourself, gambling on yourself, believing in yourself. It's not about believing in yourself anymore. It's about believing in the creative team and having faith in the creative team to do right by you. And I just don't think they will. So again, out of Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly, I think Gargano is likely to stay. You know, when people will say, well, if he's saying that he's going to address it on Tuesday and he's going to do this and he's going to do that, maybe he's doing that because they want to pop a rating. And maybe the last thing he can do is make a splash on NXT television, put over an up-and-coming talent on the way out. Who knows who that will be? Bron Breakker? I don't know. But as far as his future, I think it's... I don't know. This one I'm less certain about, but I just don't know where his future lies. I really don't. And it's going to be interesting. It certainly is going to be interesting, that one. So we'll have to stay tuned when it comes to that. Finally, speaking of people leaving WWE, Von Wagner turned on his tag team partner Kyle O'Reilly last night, set up a cage match for NXT on Tuesday. But of course, this also, just like Johnny Gargano, could be Kyle O'Reilly's final week as an NXT star, or certainly a WWE contracted superstar. Now, last night at War Games, Von Wagner turned his back on Kyle O'Reilly. Wagner and Riley challenged the NXT Tag Team Champions Imperium at War Games, but came up short. After the match, O'Reilly stood tall before the crowd as Wagner prepared to attack him from behind. O'Reilly saw the attack coming and countered, taking Wagner down and then standing over him. O'Reilly later appeared at a backstage segment and challenged him to a steel cage match on Tuesday, calling him as dumb as he looks. O'Reilly said this wasn't the first time he gets to wrestle inside War Games, so he's hungry for some steel. Now, the challenge was accepted, and this, of course, could be his final match in WWE, because we have an update when it comes to his contract, because it was reported early last month that NXT star Kyle O'Reilly's NXT contract was due to expire in December. Now, according to PW Insider, that date is arriving this week. If O'Reilly does not come to terms with the company on a new contract, this will reportedly be his final week in WWE. Now, of course, he's been a mainstay in NXT for several years as part of the Undisputed Era, and now more recently as a single star. It's to be determined if he's going to re-sign with WWE, but it may be an enticing idea right now to join his former Undisputed Era stablemates Adam Cole and Bobby Fish in All Elite Wrestling. Fish and Cole have been teaming together in recent episodes of Dynamite and Rampage. Of course, he could go back to New Japan, where he's established himself before, so we'll have to wait and see. I think this one's more cut and dry. Again, it's similar principles to Johnny Gargano in that where does he fit? I don't know where he fits in this scenario, certainly in this version of NXT. I don't know where he fits on the main roster either. AEW is a more enticing proposition for him. He will be featured more on AEW television. He'll go into a tag team with Bobby Fish, and it's an incredibly deep tag team division in AEW. Arguably the best tag team division in the world is in AEW, and I think that's where he'd go. He's done fine as a single star, but I think he's better in a tag team. Red Dragon, obviously, have had great matches, and I think this one's more cut and dry. I think the steel cage match, I think he'll put over Wagner, and then I think he'll leave, and I think he'll sign up with AEW. I think it's more cut and dry, and I know people have been talking about it, negotiations, all that kind of stuff. It kind of just blows my mind, though, that I think back to that first episode of Dynamite in October of 2019, and I think back to NXT. Of course, they debuted the prior week, didn't they, on the USA Network? But still, that was 1 hour on the USA Network and 1 hour on WWE Network. But then the following week, it was the first 2-hour show that went head-to-head with Dynamite. And I look back to that NXT show, and it was all centered around the Undisputed Era, right? The Golden Prophecy, the Undisputed Prophecy. Roderick Strong winning the North American Championship from the Velveteen Dream, and Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish defending the NXT Tag Team Championships against the Street Profits. Fast forward just over 2 years later, and you could have that original core, that original three of the Undisputed Era in Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly. They could all be in AEW. And I think that speaks volumes to not only the growth of AEW, but just the change that is NXT right now. NXT's different. It's not the same as it once was. That's why they've got rid of all of these veterans or independent stars that were on that brand. And even War Games last night was different. It wasn't a takeover. It was an extension of the television, really. And I think that's what it will continue to be going forward. So, again, I don't see how Kyle O'Reilly fits into it. I just don't. So I think Kyle O'Reilly is going to end up in AEW, but we'll have to wait and see. But look, guys, as always, this is just one man's opinion. What are your thoughts on these WWE news stories you've spoken about today? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll do my best to respond and reply to all of your comments. Really enjoy interacting with you guys, talking about WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, all things pro wrestling here on the channel. So be sure to get involved in the community. Drop a comment below. All opinions are welcome. If you have enjoyed this video, please do smash a like on the like button too. Really does help us out here on YouTube. Got the rankings and get to people's recommendation feeds if they haven't seen our videos previously. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Wrestling News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video along with another video for you to watch. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or having come across this video today, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.